Nice cup of tea. Hello fellow humans. So as you may or may not know, I have not yet actually started hormones. Which is cool, you know, it's cool, it's fine, it's all cool. Some days, all I really want to do is just like pull out my hair and just like scream. But generally speaking, it's not too bad and I'm coping. And the reason why I'm managing to cope is because I'm a very lucky man and I actually have been passing regularly almost every day for at least the past month now. I'm passing. I don't know what I'm doing any more than you know what I'm doing. It's a bit of a problem. You know, it's really awesome and it makes me feel so much happier. You know, it just happens in random situations. I might be out in the city getting some food or getting coffee with drinks or something and all of a sudden I'll just be, "Hello sir."
She called me sir, yes.
Yeah, sorry. Could I just get a soy latte please? Yeah, sure, no problem. Just casual everyday experiences like that where I have to sort of refrain myself from getting really excited about the fact that, you know, I've passed. Like someone's like, "Oh, you're, you know, a guy." And I'm like, "Thank you, yes I am, you're right." It's the best, it's so liberating, it's so exciting. So, in hopes of sharing some of my joy and excitement from being able to pass, I thought I'd share some of the things I've learned while trying to pass. Dressing style. I know this may seem like a no-brainer. We're men, we should dress like men, right? Well, I reckon it's a little bit more complicated, you know, it comes down to your personal choice, you know, also your style. Personally, what I like to do is I buy clothes that are a couple sizes too big for me, or, you know, a bit baggy around me, but not too much, just a little bit, like this top. So it doesn't sit really tight on me, so it doesn't accentuate my more feminine features. But, you know, I think that when it comes to clothing styles, it really should also be totally up to you and what you want to wear. You know, if you still want to wear some of those feminine clothes that you've got, be a little bit pretty, wear some makeup, or have a dress or skirts or something more florally, those things that are labelled more as feminine clothing styles. You know, I reckon you should just go for it. If you want to wear those things, wear them. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let anyone come in and take away the things that make you feel happy when you wear them. That being said, when you present yourself in clothes such as dresses and skirts and makeup, you will more likely be taken as a female. It's not your fault, like you're no less manly because you decided to put on a dress. Of course, you know, a lot of people think that being trans guys, we can't still do things like that, but we can, if we want to. If you want to pass in the eyes of other people, you probably will have to forsake some of these more feminine clothing items or aspects that society has created. So it's really up to you. Like, if you really don't care too much about passing, then go for it. But if you do care, and you probably do, but because you're watching this video, then more masculine clothes and ones that don't accentuate, you know, your feminine features are probably the way to go. Number 2. So I generally bind basically every day, or at least whenever I'm going out. You know, I have fairly big breasts. They're size D or double D depending on the bra size that, you know, I used to buy. Which means that, you know, as soon as I wear a bra or as soon as I wear, you know, not a binder, it's really obvious that I have breasts. And as it is, it's sort of hard to hide. I kinda wish they'd fall off, but what can I do? So I use GC2B binders. They're an American company, I think, as far as I know. And I just order them online and they ship them to me. And honestly, they are a godsend. They are fantastic. You know, as I said, I have fairly large breasts, so for me, it's really optimal trying to squish down my breasts as much as possible because I don't really want to acknowledge them. Sorry boobs, you got put on the wrong body. General rules of binding, use actual binder tops rather than the ace bandages because they're not good for you. I bind every day basically and it makes me feel a lot happier and a lot more confident in my own skin, which, you know, in the end, a lot of passing, being able to pass, comes down to confidence. We'll talk about that later. Packing! Everybody's favorite topic. I don't know if it is, I felt like saying that. I think packing is another one of those things that's sort of like dressing style. It's really up to you whether you decide to do it or not. For me personally, I pack fairly regularly, you know, generally most days. It makes me feel a lot better, it makes me deal with my bottom dysphoria a lot better. But I found, generally speaking, that whether I'm packing or not, I'll pass either way. So if I'm wearing a packer, then I'll pass, and if I'm not wearing a packer, then I'll still pass. You know, and I think that comes down to the fact that people sort of don't really want to spend too much time looking at guys' crotches, which thank God for that, because, you know, half the time I'd probably not pass, but half the time I'm like, I'm too lazy to wear my packer, or I've got my period and I'm like, I don't want to get my packer dirty. But you know, that's a whole nother story. Let's not even go there. So yeah, packing. Do it, don't do it. Up to you. I reckon no matter what, whether you pack or don't pack, generally speaking, you'll still pass. Hair is again another one of those sort of more personal preferences. There is so many different ways that you can wear your hair. You've got different hairdos like I've got, you know, with the shaved sides, or, you know, the shorter looks. Or you can do like man buns, you know, dreadlocks, or just basically anything that you feel comfortable with. It's just totally up to you. However, I definitely say when it comes to hair color, it's better to keep it more natural. So in the middle of this year, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Take a sip of my tea. In the middle of the year, what I ended up doing was I dyed my hair, well actually I bleached my hair really light blonde / like colourful purpley blue. And it looked awesome. I loved it. It was great fun. I really enjoyed doing something different. But as soon as I did that, I went from passing every now and then to passing never. Not once. Not even one person was like, you know what, guys can have colourful hair too. You therefore must be a guy with colourful hair. No. As soon as I dyed my hair a different colour, like this sort of crazy wacko colour, people were like, hey look, that's a girl. No, I'm a guy. Please, stop. Which sucked, you know, because I really enjoyed doing something really radical and something quite different with my hair. But it was so demoralizing and draining on me to be consistently passing as female rather than male that I was like, I can't do this anymore. You know, so I got like a packet of hair dye and dyed my hair light brown, and it kind of went black, which looked awful. So I shaved that off, and then it's been regrowing, and you know what? Finally now it's much better, and I'm loving my hair right now. So thank goodness for that. It's been a bit of a fiasco, really. So yeah, unfortunately, if you want to pass, I definitely recommend keeping your hair more natural colors, you know, like browns, blondes, those sort of colors, because generally people will take you more likely as male. And from my experience, I've definitely been passing as male almost non-stop now that my hair is darker again. The voice is the window to the human soul. I think that's actually the eyes, never mind, I'm wrong. So this passing tip is something that I actually think it takes a bit more work than the others. I mean, sure, you style and stuff and all that takes time and everything, and figuring out how you want to present yourself to the world. But voice is something that you kind of got to be conscious of all the time if you want to lower it somewhat before starting with hormones. Yeah, I've found, generally speaking, that I'll be passing, and then as soon as I start talking, people are like, oh, I'm so sorry, I thought that you were a guy. And I'm like, I am. Thanks. So I've been trying to lower my voice down more, sort of talk in lower tones as much as I can, especially because I find that my normal voice, which is probably not that much, you know, higher than this, but my normal voice gives me a fair amount of dysphoria. It is, however, really quite challenging to maintain. You know, it's very easy to slip out of. I work in customer service, and as soon as I start serving someone, I normally slip into a higher voice because it's sort of like this instant reaction of becoming bubbly and nice sounding. You know, kind of like, yeah, sure, that's no problem. I see that, yeah, sure, like that, and it's like, no, stop doing that. If you can pass without like lowering your voice too much, or you feel like it doesn't actually affect your passing ability, then don't even bother, because it's, I don't know, I don't even know if I'm actually lowering my voice anymore or if I'm just imagining shit, which happens a lot. I may or may not imagine stuff all the time. I'm going crazy. It's good to kind of observe men in their natural habitat. Here we see an average Australian man sitting on a couch, watching some TV. Noticed how his legs are spread far apart, and he spends copious amounts of time smelling himself, noticing the little quirks that men have, you know, in like their day-to-day sort of activities and the way that they interact with each other. Like, for example, here in Australia, a lot of men are like, hey mate, what can I do for you? Like, mate. It's just like mate everywhere. But yeah, I've been using the word mate a bit more in my vocabulary. Kind of probably more than I need to, but you know what? I'm just gonna have to deal with the kids. You know, and just like the little things, you know, like a lot of guys tend to sit with their legs further apart or with their leg on top of it, like one leg sort of crossed over but not properly, like so that they've got, you know, dick space, I think it is. I don't really know because I don't have a penis, which sucks. It's also about your own individual quirks. You know, like you're your own person, so the way that you act, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be defined either as male or female, it's just you being you. You know, it's like, it's up to you to define whatever you do as whatever you want, like. So choose the little quirks that you want and throw out the ones that you don't want. So last, but certainly not least, and probably the most important of all of them, is confidence. Being confident in your identity of yourself, you know, in the end will make all of these things tied together and make people believe that you are the male that you are. It can really come down to this, just believing in your own ability to do these things. Even if you just pretend like you're confident, eventually you will actually be confident. I still haven't mastered this completely. There's still a lot of areas where I sort of freak out about, you know, like when I'm talking with other guys, I'm just like, oh shit, are these guys like thinking that I'm a guy? Or are they still perceiving me as a girl? I don't know. Or like bathrooms. Bathrooms are great fun. Going into bathrooms can be horrifying and sometimes I just want to like run away. Yeah, I haven't really conquered the bathroom problem yet. I still use disabled toilets because it's that much easier. So yeah, I hope that these tips can help you be able to pass more regularly before you start hormones, or just in general, whether you decide that you want to take the path of hormones or not, you know, just whatever path you decide is the path that you want. Just that these can help you feel more comfortable and, you know, secure in your own skin. Because you know what, you're awesome and you're great and I believe in you. Well, if that's not corny, then nothing is. You know, best of luck with everything out there. Go conquer the world, people. I don't know how many people are actually watching this, but woo! So I hope you have a lovely time wherever you are. And I don't know when I'll next be uploading a video, so come back to my channel any old time and there might be something, there might not. Or you could just subscribe and then, you know, you'll get notifications of when I upload something. That's cool. Goodbye! Just before I end this video, I thought from now on, whenever I do a blogging video, I have this little section at the end where I just share a word that I found that I really like. So this week, the word I wanted to share with you is Omphaloskepsis, which is basically the contemplation of one's navel as part of a mystical exercise. Which, like, I can't believe there's a word for that. Like, what the fuck, it's such a random word, I love it. So yeah, tune in for when I do a blog and you'll learn a new word maybe. Build your vocabulary with random words that you probably will never use. Goodbye!